What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? Welcome to the Rotary engine teardown video with some trivia, because I'm gonna one take this thing. We're gonna film the whole deal all the way through. I 100% appreciate all of you guys for clicking and watching. And if you're into rotary stuff, not just engines, rotary cars, rotary everything, in addition to just like learning how to problem solve, definitely subscribe to the channel. It's free to you, and I would 100% appreciate the support. So here before us, a little backstory. We have a 13b REW out of an FD RX-7. Okay, this is a US spec engine, came out of a 1993 car. And I have already done the liberty of pulling the oil pan off and pulling the rear flywheel off, in addition to loosening the front pulley bolt. Okay, this front bolt, first tip, is a real pain to get out. Definitely take this out before you take your flywheel off. You're going to want to use the flywheel for leverage. Unless you have an impact with some serious nuts on it, this is going to be a pain. So get this thing out. Once you get this out, you're going to find the thermal pellet underneath that with a little spring. And then there should be an even bigger spring down in here as well. This guy coming out, and you want to not lose any of that stuff. Then your pulley comes off. Find a nice box, put all that stuff in the box. All right, we're gonna take this front cover off. So first question, we're doing some trivia, keep you guys on your toes, keep you guys busy. What was the last year that rotary cars were produced in the United States? Comment below. Front cover bolts are all 12 mil, by the way. This engine has definitely been apart and been rebuilt once before, and it is here because it has low compression on I think it's the front rotor, I don't remember. One of them's low, one of them doesn't make any cool whooshy noises. All right, front cover bolts are out. Let's get this deal off. Oh, easy peasy. Nice. Use the gasket. Did you guys get your answer? The first or the last year rotary cars were produced in the United States? I believe it's 2011, right? RX-8. Such a cool car. Okay, front cover, nice and healthy. A little bit dirty on the inside. We will be putting a new front main seal in it, and it looks like somebody painted their front main seal. Good deal. Run this stuff over here. Make sure, guys, I'll put a picture in, have a nice clean spot ready for all your engine parts. All right, the next bit, you're going to take off all these front pieces. Don't lose them, okay? Distributor drive gear comes off the keyway. On an FD, the distributor drive gear doesn't actually drive anything. These cars have a front. My buddy Jacob's gonna get mad whenever I butcher the name, but it's like, what's it called, a Hall effect sensor. It's like a magnet, and on the FDs there's actually two of them. All right, let's see, what's another good trivia question? What was the very first rotary car available for purchase in the United States? And I'll say, I guess there's a couple different questions here. What was the very first rotary engine powered car? So comment that one below. And then also, what was the very first Mazda rotary engine car available for sale? I'm gonna own the very first Mazda rotary engine car. They're not that unobtainable just yet, so we're gonna try to get one of those at some point. Man, let me tell you, just dropped tools all over the place. The 10mm is gone. So what I'm doing now, guys, we're taking the oil pump off. You can take this nut off and take the pulley off the oil pump. I typically don't do that. I'll usually just leave that nut on, leave that crush washer on, and from there I just take the 10mm bolts off that actually hold the oil pump to the front iron. A little bit of a tedious task, but it is one of those things that you don't ever really need to take your oil pump apart. So I kind of just let it be. And these chains are a little sloppy, but there's no tensioner on them. There's really nothing crazy that you need to do on there. So you get these off, get these apart. I'm gonna have to keep track of how many trivia questions we asked and see who gets the most of them right. All right, so this thing should just walk right up out of there. Keep the pulley. Just do a slide off with it. So right here, guys, we got oil pump coming off. You can see the cool rotary-like shape in there that pumps your oil. 4 bolts. Super easy. Front counterweight. Pop that baby right off. There's actually a washer built into the counterweight, or not really, but it's in there. I've never really had them come out unless you go in and actually clean this piece. Then they'll come somewhat fall out. We've got Torrington bearing number 1. In-place spacer is in there. Torrington bearing. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and remove the front stationary gear cover. There's like a steel plate on this. We'll have to put this back on so we can flip the motor back over. Oh, come on. So we got another Torrington bearing. Oh, come on. And we have our end play spacer and the eccentric shaft washer. It's tapered. Sweet. All right, so you're gonna need to put 1 bolt back into the front stationary gear. You don't have to like super tighten it down, but it's just to make sure it doesn't fall out the front of the engine. Okay, here we go. Flipping this thing over. Boom. Okay. Rear stationary gear can stay in. I need to take off this front cover, or this little cover, before I cut my finger on it. Oh, what the heck is that? Is this a stud? Oh, for the drain. What the heck is this? Oh, there was a nut in my socket. Okay, that's off. That out of the way. All right, now the back of the engine. We're ready to basically take the rear iron off. So we're gonna go ahead and buzz all these loose. Now, while I'm taking all these off, let's see. What was I don't know. What should we ask? What year did Mazda win the 24 Hours of Le Mans? Oh, come on. Alright, so here, well, I'm gonna grab my air wrench and pull all of these out. I'll tell you a really funny story about this impact. So, the other guy that you see on the channel, Justin, he has a 1991 Mazda Miata. And the Mazda Miata one day decided that it was gonna walk off, i.e., somebody took it from his driveway in the morning before he left for work, because he drives this Miata. It's lifted. It's super cool. We'll do a video on it at some point. So if you're into lifted Miatas, hit the subscribe button. But the Miata got stolen, right? Man, that one's in there. So the Miata got stolen. Well, when Justin recovered the Miata, thanks to the Miata group, some local people helping him out, the back of the Miata was full of power tools. Well, they weren't Justin's power tools. So whoever had taken this Miata had also taken a bunch of power tools somewhere. Pretty much they were all like brand new. So when Justin got the Miata back, the police were like, are these all yours? And he's like, no. And the policeman basically said, if no one claims them, you can keep them. And we'll note them and this, that, and the other, but we won't take them. The policeman won't take them, and then you can just have them. It wasn't like $1 bajillion worth of tools, but that Craftsman ratchet was in there. Justin didn't have any Craftsman tools. I didn't either. Fortunately, it did come with a charger, so I was actually able to use it, but I got a new little impact. I was pretty stoked. It's a fun story. So, on the back of this engine, tips and tricks. All of these tension bolts are the same, except for the one that goes in this corner, which is fortunately the one that I dropped. And it has a Mazda M on the end of it. The one with the Mazda M goes right here, and it's actually longer than all of the rest of them. So keep that in mind when you're tearing one of these down. I guess not so much a trivia question, but how many of you guys, just curious, how many of you guys have actually torn down a rotary engine or like built one or taken one apart? Gauge the demographic of the channel. There are a lot of people here that have built engines. There are a lot of people here that haven't. I've often debated too, like live streaming doing this one time. So let me know if you think we should live stream doing this, which is kind of how this is, but you guys are just getting to see it after the fact of it happening. And my internet out here in the weeds is not exactly the best. All right, once we get to this point, you have all the tension bolts out, leave the stationary gear and you get the flywheel off. Make sure you get the key, the Woodruff key, out of the back of the eccentric shaft. Got all this stuff off here, front covers off, you're ready to take the rear iron off. Now, at this point, you need to make sure and be careful you don't drop stuff down in the engine. Now, it's good to drop it in there now and not when you're assembling it, but try to keep things in order on the rotor so you know what seal fits with what, okay? Especially if you're trying to do a budget rebuild. You want to put, if you're going to reuse stuff, you want to put it back in the exact same spot. Alright, so now we got this separated. I'll actually bring you guys closer. You guys get to sit on the chair. So bring you guys down here. You can kind of see this thing come off. See what's in here. So I like to go ahead and sit this just like this so that you can see, like this piece right here, like what corner seal, right, goes back in this spot. The corner seal goes back in this spot. That corner seal stayed in. Reason being, I want to know which one came out, so if we reuse it, we can put it back in the same spot. Oil control rings right here. We'll just set those back in there. Coolant seals don't look too bad. You pull those out. Looks like we can just take the rear iron off. Just set this over here on the table. And the rear bearing doesn't look terrible, but I've seen better. Man. And also, guys, you're going to get really dirty when you do this. So just be aware of that. Alright, so one thing I've kind of developed a little system for, and some people have their own ways of doing it, it's how I like to do it, is I start my numbering on the rotor. Okay, the gear side has a letter. That letter denotes the balance of the rotor. I use that letter to start my counting for seals. So this is the letter E. The apex seal that's at the top of the letter E is number 1. And then I go 1, 2, 3 in the clockwise direction. And the other side, the same apex seal that's the letter E gets 4, 5, 6. Same order around, okay? That just helps me know where the seals go, how things are laying out. For this one, we're gonna go ahead and start taking all of these out. I have a tray and put all this stuff in it. So, heck, I could probably get this out of here and leave most of that stuff in it, in the rotor for now. See, parts are gonna start falling off, guys. Oh man, it's got stock apex seals in it still. springs, corner seal number 1, or 4, corner seal number 5, corner seal number 6, 4, 5, 6. This apex seal, we're not reusing those, it's not a huge deal. Apex seal springs, we want to not lose any of those. Oil control ring out of here. Alright, good deal. Got everything cleaned up. Okay. Now, the next part, taking the housing off. So these dowels, sometimes they'll just come right out. Other times they won't. You can just try to take the housing off and hopefully the dowels come with it, just like this. You see that dowel fell out. This dowel is stuck in here. Okay, so we'll have to hammer that out at some point. This would be the rear housing. I always like to keep everything in order. It's really hard to mark on your housings, i.e. like draw a number and write rear or front, or to actually put words on them when everything's super oily and nasty. So I'll tend to just put the engine back together in order on the bench, and then you can clean them and just remember which one's which. The dowel. Come over here. Chilling that thing. Wipe this baby down. Some of this crap off of it. Alright. Center iron coming apart. Super easy, guys. Super easy. Tear one of these things down. Need the trusty rubber mallet. Okay. Alright, so this is where this is going to get real tricky for you guys, alright? Is getting this out with the eccentric shaft. So I'll take this and prop it up. Just make sure I'm not going to drop everything down in there. And for disassembly, I tend to just take it all apart as one piece and then sort out the eccentric shaft after I have it on the bench. But for assembly, if you're one guy, putting the eccentric shaft in is a real pain. So I'll tend to just do this. Then you can walk the eccentric shaft out. It doesn't have to go back in there, but it's just an easy place to put it. So I got parts falling all out of this thing. There's an apex seal spring inside the center of this. Intake port. There. That one. Alright, guys. What do you guys think so far? Super easy? Ready to do this for yourself? I'm going to guess, since all of these apex seals are still in this rotor, that this apex seal spring was either dropped in there by somebody who owned the car, or it fell in there when I just took the front out. Probably the latter. Okay. The E-shaft. Alright, RX-7 gurus, this is going to be a hard trivia question. What is the lightest E-shaft in production? The lightest one. Answer me that question. Comments below. Wipe this baby off. This thing looks pretty good. No major scoring. No major wear. Nothing crazy. A bit of heat in it. The lightest E-shaft. I guess I'll put a stip on it. What's the lightest 13B E-shaft? Because you could probably argue that 12A E-shafts are lighter than 13B E-shafts. Now, I haven't inspected the housing yet to see if it was trashed. Still don't know, like I said, why this thing was low compression. But the corner seals do look good. So that's a win. And I mean, this housing looks pretty good, so that's also a win. So what I'm doing over here, which you guys can't see off camera, which I'll show it to you once ready to go, is I have these trays built that the rotors fit in and all the rotor seals go in, so you can keep everything organized. And basically what I'm doing is just kind of getting all of that stuff ready to go. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and bring the tray over here so you guys can see it. So this is that tray. It says rear on it. Oil control rings and stuff go in here for the front and back side. You have slots for all your side seals and slots for the rest of everything else. Each corner seal, and then lay your apex seals in there. So we'll go ahead and pop this rotor out of here, and I'm just going to set it on the tray for now, and then I can go through and sort everything on the workbench, which I can show you that as well in this video. So you'll see some guys take all this apart with a rubber band. Just notice all the apex seal stuff fell out. I'm just going to set this thing in here, just so when it does fall apart, it all falls in the same spot, and that way you know where it all came from. You know, if you plan to, like I say, go ahead and you're going to rebuild and replace every single part in your engine, then it doesn't really matter. Take it apart and who cares. But if you're trying to do a budget rebuild, like I said, you want to keep everything in the right spot. You know, the side seals are cut to fit one way. You know, the corner seals are all microscopically different sizes, etc. So nothing crazy fell out of this one. Take it over to the table over here, and I'll walk you guys through all the stuff that's on the table as well. We can kind of do like things, what things do you look for when you're taking your rotary engine apart. So something to make. This is a little T-handle thing I got from my buddy Charles. 2 nuts welded to a piece of bar with a bolt on it that fits the thread. Just dropping stuff, man. Just fits the thread of the dowel, and you can use this, pull the dowels out pretty easily. Also, the reason this is threaded on the other end is I have an attachment for my slide hammer, because yes, sometimes these dowels are in there real good, they just don't come out. All right. So let's see. Next trivia question. This would be an easy one. It's like a simple yes or no answer, I guess. Was the Mazda rotary truck available in any other country than the United States? Hey, this guy's on there. And this thing just smells cooked. Let me tell you. All right, next trivia question. Super fun. What year RX-7s could you get yellow? So what year of RX-7 could you get in yellow? I think for the RX-7s, I'm pretty sure for RX-7s that there's only 3 different yellows you can get. So what years could you have got those yellows? Oh yeah. What fell out? What fell out? Piece of plastic fell out. Let me tell you guys, whoever put this engine together, or at least put the oil pan on, definitely used a metric bunch of silicone, because the pickup tube was pretty gummed up with silicone. All right, guys. This thing's all apart, just like that. How long was that? 25 minutes. We're cranking. All right, so as usual with that process, if you have questions, drop comments below. I've had engines where it spun a bearing and the E-shaft is stuck in it. I've had engines where stationary gears don't come out. I've had engines where, you know, you dang near have to slide hammer the heck out of a dowel to get them out. So if you have those problems, comment them below. I can do my best to help you guys figure that out. For now, we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna pick you guys up, and we're gonna assess the damage on these parts and look at this engine, see what's up. Okay, welcome to the mobile camera. I apologize too, my fluorescent lights sometimes get a little mad with the frame rate of this camera, and I want to switch to LEDs, but as you all guys know, car guys stuff's expensive. So first things first, everyone always asks how the housings look. So this is the front housing. Let's go ahead and take a good look in here. I really don't see any scoring that would prevent it from being used. There's a little bit of wear right here at the edge. I don't know if you see the shadows, some edge wear, but I would say that's probably less than 1.5 millimeters. I don't see any damage in the top. A little bit of chatter, but I can't feel anything with my fingernail that is abnormal. Typically, most of the time, because of all the heat, you will see a lot of damage down here in the bottom and around the exhaust port. Okay, the front housing looks pretty good. Let's look at the rear one. The one with the dowel stuck in. Don't mind the dirtiness, that's okay. So we still have some edge wear on this one. Otherwise, no major issues back here as well. That's super good. Nice. Huge win, guys, huge win. Rotary engine parts are getting super hard to get these days. So if you have an engine that can be rebuilt, it's a big win. Next thing you want to look for, okay, on your irons, especially FD and FC engines, the coolant seal grooves will break. So you want to look and inspect between the coolant seal and the coolant jacket. Make sure that none of that's broken. This rear one looks good. Usually the FCs are the ones that are notorious for popping coolant seals and then breaking the iron. The FDs have a bit thicker of a casting. I'm not seeing any issues on these at all. At all. So that is a huge win, guys. Huge win for the coolant seals, the irons, all the hard parts. Big win. And I think the front one looked pretty good when we had it over here. Let's go ahead and give it a look. No issues at all up there. So that's a big win, guys. Big win. And also, a super big win is that this engine is not ported. Sometimes you can get into trouble with engines that are ported because whoever ported them did a bad job, and you can't exactly put metal back. Once it's been ported, it's kind of just been ported, you know? Man, we didn't even make a mess. We're getting too good at this, guys. Taking these things apart. So, just a little box. It's got all the front assembly stuff, the stuff that goes under the front cover. Ooh, don't want to spill my cranberry juice. We got that. We got that. We got that. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to grab one of those rotor trays, bring it over here. We'll get this light set up so we have a little bit more light. Yeah, check out that beautiful Weber sitting right there. All right, so the rotor trays. Go ahead and grab one of these guys. These are a little heavy. This one is the rear. Like I said, I didn't remember, which I should have remembered, which one was low compression. Let's figure that out. Let me set you guys down here. Okay, we got the rotor. We need to figure out where the letter is on the gear. So we're kind of going to let all this stuff fall off controllably so that I can look. The letter is here. So this one is number 1. So we'll go 1, number 1, number 1. We'll take this one, number 2. Will be the top of this. Or no, that one was number 1. This side's number 2. And the top will be number 3 because you go clockwise. And really, it's just I kind of do it my own little deal just to make sure that I know where everything comes apart. That if I need to, I can put it back together in that exact order. So the number 1 side seal, the number 2 side seal, the number 3 side seal, number 4 side seal, number 5, number 6. And really, guys, I'm not seeing anything that is catastrophic failure on this. Okay? Not on this rotor, at least. There's no crazy damage, really. Nothing out of the ordinary. Also, be really careful when you take oil control rings out. They are super sharp and they can cut you pretty good. You got oil control ring springs down in here as well. These guys, you don't want to lose them. So, in addition, I've been toying with the idea. I've had a lot of people ask me questions about it. Basically saying like, hey, we'd like to see a video of me putting together a whole rotary engine. So like a assembly video. That's something that I wouldn't mind doing on a live stream. So I don't know if it would be this engine or not. This isn't an engine for me. This is a local guy's engine. So, you know, if that's something you guys are interested in, I'll definitely, it'd have to be something I would have to schedule, you know, and then plan and do it somewhere where I have good service so we can document it. But if that's something you guys are interested, definitely comment below. And I can work on trying to get that done for you guys. What I'm doing here, I just have an old side seal and just pulling all this stuff out. Oh man, that one's in there. Okay, there we go. Of this rotor before it falls out while you're moving it or doing whatever. Okay, guys. So these apex seals. I mean, really, there's no crazy marks on them. All the corners look fine. This one's got a pretty good little jive in it. Doesn't look warped at all. Yeah, this one looks fine. And I don't really know, guys. I don't know what's really know what caused the issue on this one. Don't really know. Honestly, looks pretty good. No signs of detonation. When you're looking for detonation, you can see dents in the face of the rotors. These rotors are actually hollow. Big open space up in there. The rotor bearing looks fine as well. Rear rotor, passed. Let's grab the front. Or I guess that was the front rotor. Okay, the rear rotor. Gear side, where's my letter? Right here. This one kind of fell apart without it. I mean, that apex seal looks good, guys. Number 1 apex seal. Looking okay. Oh, we do have... Oh, that corner seal looks fine, I guess. Never mind. Thought I saw a flash of some funky metal in there. Come on, side seal. I mean, side seals look fine. It literally was not making any compression noises. I mean, it was just like no sound coming out of this, of one of these rotors. Maybe this is a factory rebuild. It just definitely, the engine's been painted, and you can just tell by, you know, the front cover bolt was a little chewed up. The main hub pulley, you can tell the rear iron's been a little chewed up. Just things like that that are like, yo, somebody's been here messing around. Dang, my guys. This thing's really not that bad, guys. It's really not that bad. Apex seals and springs all looking pretty decent for this guy. See, I'm telling you guys, rotary engine haters, it's not always apex seals that kills these engines. It's usually, rarely, unless you were really hard on it. Jesus, I didn't want to come out. 3. Gear. Man, does look like a lot of blow-by on this one though. Oh, come on, side seal, get out of there. Get out of there. This thing's in here good. So I'm going to upload this, guys, basically just exactly how it got filmed. What you guys are seeing here. Try my best not to edit anything out. Luckily, we didn't drop too many tools. Man. So you can see, guys, here. Maybe you can't. Try to bring you guys closer. Okay, so y'all can see some of this discoloration on the back of the rotor, just the blackness, okay? That's just blow-by sneaking through there. That's not ideal. You're gonna see that, but typically you want to see, you know, all the blackness stay between the side seal and the rotor face. Stuff you get back here, you can just tell fire's coming through. You know, and that's, like I said, not the best situation, but I'm really not finding, you know, like a catastrophic failure event here, guys. We're not seeing anything that's crazy broken. The engine looks pretty healthy as far as, you know, the rest of it, and that's honestly really good. You know, it sucks to not find the issue, like why it's low compression, but I mean, these engines just wear out, and you know, it kind of, sometimes it just happens. Dang, this thing's actually in really good shape, guys. It's in really good shape. It's in really good shape. Get all the side seal springs out of here. So side seal springs, guys, let me tell you. Side seal springs are super cheap, okay? Like $1 or something a piece. I'll move you guys so you can see me maybe. Okay, so the side seal springs, like I said, super cheap, $1 a piece. If you don't replace the side seal springs when you have your engine out, like, you're just asking for trouble. I would say inspect your side seals, make sure they're within spec and not wore. But you should replace your side seal springs. Like, they're super easy, they're super cheap, you might as well do it. You don't have to cut them, you don't have to measure them, you don't have to do nothing. You just stick them in there, you might as well replace them. They're so important to compression, you know. And even if you go through here and you check all your side seal clearances, they're fine, and you reuse the side seals, maybe just do new apex seals, you know, do this, that, and the other to it, and you don't really go that crazy, because you don't have to. You know, it's like, people don't always replace everything inside of every engine when they rebuild them. You replace what's broken. Man, guys, I'm not really seeing why this thing was cooked. There's not a catastrophic issue inside this engine. So, that right there, I think I'm gonna leave you with that. That's real unfortunate. Tore down, low compression, rotary engine, and got super lucky. Man, so the OEM apex seals are 2-piece, or I guess 3-piece. They have the corner piece, this piece, and then the top. And I don't see any of them that are broken. Usually on these as well, you'll see them where, see how the edge of that is pointed? You get one good detonation, you can break the tip of that off. You know, and then, so like most aftermarket 2-piece seals will look like this, full height seal with the little triangle corner. And then as well, you can have 1-piece seals to look like this, 1 piece. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. We have torn down this engine, and I did not find anything catastrophically wrong. The rotors look fine, no detonation, no broken bits. All the grooves look fine, all the side seals came out, corner seals came out. You know, we didn't see any cracked or broken corner seals, though sometimes they'll split. All the corner seal springs look fine, all the side seals look fine. So now it's a part of cleaning everything, which takes a very long time, and getting everything put back so that we can start checking clearances and make sure that this engine, when it goes back together, is ripping and making all the compressions. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. The whole reason for actually filming this video, I wasn't planning on documenting the video here, is that I posted on Instagram and said, hey, who would want to see this? And the story within like 10 minutes had 100%. All of y'all said yes. There were like 50 or 60 votes. And I'm like, okay, that's enough people. We're going to go ahead and do it. And I'm stoked. So I want to thank all of you guys that follow me on there. Thank all of you guys for the support here. And get ready, because if you're watching this video, we already got in the mail a brand new Weber, like an actual Weber 48 IDA for the rally car to go with our brand new manifold to go on this thing. If you know the battle I fought with the EFI on this car, we're going back to my roots. We're doing a carb. You saw the Weber on the bench. I got a Weber on my big Bridgeport car. I got a DeLordo on the other truck. It's just like, I know them, so we're going to use them. So get stoked for that. Stay tuned. If you're into the rally stuff, this is a first-gen rally car, Rod Millen tribute, and it will be for sale. So go check out those videos. Go check out the build if you're interested in it. It should be coming across Springer Trailer. Hopefully you guys saw it on there. But with that, I'm going to wake the dog up so she can say goodbye to y'all. We're going to close this video out. So thank you guys again very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Drop any questions you got below. Keep it rad. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hey, girlie. You guys say goodbye. She's sitting by the fire because it's cold in Tennessee. Peace, guys.